All right, so I'm sitting down now with my friend, okay? This woman I've known for what, like a year now, over a year? We've been through some highs and we've been through some lows together.
Oh, yes, the highest highs.
My friend Yulia, I'm going to try this, okay? And you're going to have to correct me. Here we go. Chernykhovskaya.
All right, close.
Okay,
Close.
hit me. What is it? How do you say it?
Chernykhovskaya.
Oh man, that was such an American. I was like trying to roll my R's and like, okay, say it one more time because I want to get it.
Chernykhovskaya.
Oh, so you don't actually pronounce the K.
Yes, it's a silent K. I think my family came up with that.
This has absolutely nothing to do with the direction we're about to go in this episode, but I'm stoked either way. It's like I've known you for this long, and it's just first name basis. Like, yeah, Yulia, I never, why bother? Last names, details. Anyway, so super pumped to have you on the show. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
I'm stoked about this because this is a direction in the 100 and however many episodes we're at now of the Dealer Playbook. We have never talked about this, and so I'm pumped to have you on the show. I know you're making a name out there for yourself. You got a growing audience, a nice flourishing business here in the health and wellness space. And something that's always fascinated me about this, admittedly, times in my life when I've completely neglected my health and wellness, now I realize how much of an impact health and wellness actually has on achieving your definition of success. So I want to turn this over to you. A, why this field for you? And then B, how have you found that it impacts one's career?
Yeah, two really powerful questions there. So I think for me, health and wellness is not something that I found. It's something that found me, because oftentimes we start actually caring about our health when it's at a point where we kind of have to. So
Right.
That's what happened to me. The week I graduated my undergrad, I have asthma, so I went to a pulmonologist, and she said, hey, at the rate you're going, you're going to have an oxygen tank by the time you're 30. So I was like, I should fix that. So being like the obsessive, research loving person that I am, I dove headfirst into really how to master your body, because I did not want to, just resort to being on medication for the rest of my life. And I really wanted to find a way to make my body work for me, to take care of my asthma, and to really, have ultimate wellness. And so that was really the catalyst behind, getting into the wellness field. I've worked as a health and wellness coach for the last 4.5 years, now working on the business side of things and helping other health and wellness coaches rock their business. But one thing that I found, that when someone really takes control of their health and wellness, every single element of your life completely changes. And it doesn't have to be insane health changes in order to get insane life and career changes too, by the way. Mm-hmm. So having more energy, having more clarity, having the powerful, brain clarity, no more brain fog, being excited, being a pleasure to work with, right? Like, no one wants to really work or buy anything from someone who's like lifeless and, not feeling so hot, right?
Totally, yeah.
So people are really drawn to people who take care of themselves. And when you take care of yourself, that's when you can take care of others. So whether you're selling cars, whether, you're selling wellness programs, when you own that in yourself and you master that in yourself, you can achieve anything.
Well, it's funny you said kind of the foggy brain, because I can tell you from personal experience. I mean, a lot of people know my past included like a super severe depression where dude, balls to the walls. I let myself go. It was like Slurpee Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Blizzard Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, with like a full bag of potato chips, like to just finish it all off. And like, I was not taking care of myself. And when I really think about it, even in the times when I haven't been focused on my health and wellness, it has affected my ability to perform. Right. And so I'm thinking about, there's in the United States, there's something like 200 and maybe 2 to 300,000 car sales professionals just for like franchise dealerships, the Toyotas, the Hondas, all these sorts of things. How many of them are probably sitting there right now going, man, I just don't feel like as sharp as I used to be. So with that, knowing that it can impact essentially every facet of your life in a positive way, why the heck is it so hard?
Easy. So it's so hard because that's the idea that we've been given over and over and over again, that in order to become healthy, you have to work out for like 2 hours a day and completely deprive yourself of everything you love and stop, going to social events and stop going to happy hour. And, in my mission to make this world a healthier place, I want to flip that and really show you that being healthy is not what you have to take away. It's all of the amazing things that you can add into your life. And as a result, it's a snowball effect of just more good, more good, more good, right? So it can start with just making a simple change and just having a healthier breakfast, or just drinking more water throughout the day, or taking a walk during lunchtime and building up on that. But I think, with anything in life, if you go into the belief that it's all or nothing, it's going to be very difficult to succeed. So when that end goal seems so far away, it might be completely intimidating to start. So knowing that health is not a destination and it's truly a journey, and it's something that just by taking little steps, you can reap those rewards right away. Like, I remember when I was in school and I was dealing with depression as well, and I had insane brain fog. One thing that I was doing was not drinking water. So how much you just drank out of that cup, that's about how much I would drink per week. So
your organs were all shutting down.
Exactly. Seriously. Like, my body was like, screw you. If you're not going to work for me, why am I going to work for you? And so just making that change, one little change, made me more brain agile. You can say I cleared up that brain fog. So little changes is what leads to true health, not this big, overwhelming, scary, hairy thing.
Okay, so what I love about this is, when you think about the day-to-day grind, and this is for me when I try and dissect my journey to wanting to be more healthy, realizing, and we hear this all over the place. Yes, you're going to have a positive effect on your life in all facets. You're going to be happier. You're going to be, like you just said, more brain agile, or whatever it is. For me, it was still like, how do I get started? It just seems like it takes so much effort. I look at my day-to-day grind. I get up. It's like, holy crap, help the kids get ready for school, get them breakfast, get them dressed, which, by the way, the disclaimer there is my wife really does most of that. She's the rock star. But when you consider everything that's going on, and then the idea of a healthy breakfast, you go, dude, what am I going to make? This seems like it takes so much. So I love what you're saying here. It's kind of this small step concept, like, hey, any positive change is still a positive change. Where do you start? Like, when you consider the day-to-day routine of people, from the time they get up to the time they go to bed, how do they implement these small, not overwhelming things into the routine? Like, what are some things that they can be doing to get the ball moving?
Yeah, great question. So the first step, before you take those little steps, you have to take one big step. And that is making the decision to go all in and make those changes, because so often people dip their toe in the water, and then decide it's not for them, right? So make the decision to take this journey, to go all in, and to make these little steps. So that's step one. Now, as far as the little steps, right? So one thing, you're like, well, I don't have time to eat a healthy breakfast. Well, you're eating breakfast anyway, right? Like, you're spending time eating breakfast anyway. So why not take an extra hour on Sunday, prepare smoothie packs that you can throw in your freezer, and then during the week, just throw it in the blender with some coconut milk or almond milk, blend it up, and you're ready to go, right? It just takes a little bit of planning, and you got an awesome, delicious breakfast on the go. Something with movement, right? Like making the conscious decision to walk around for 10 minutes during lunch. And now I know you're thinking, like, could that really make a difference? Well, the cool thing that happens is you truly become addicted to feeling good. And those little baby steps, you're going to be asking for more, right? Like when you eat a lunch that's full of delicious, nutritious, like vegetables, whole grains, and you feel awesome after that, the next day, you might not want that burger that gives you that afternoon slump. You're going to be wanting more and more and more of it. But the trick is to really take that time, maybe on a Sunday and just to plan and say, how can I make things a little bit healthier this week? If you're ordering lunch out, straight up ask the waiters, what are some of the healthier options you have? Can you put extra vegetables on there for me? Something as simple as that makes a huge difference. But again, you're only going to make these little extra efforts if you've already made that decision. Because when we haven't made that decision, those little efforts seem inconvenient as hell.
Yeah.
And if something's inconvenient and we're busy already, we're not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. I mean, as you're saying that, it makes me think about, I did an episode a little while ago with my friend Grant Cardone, who, I mean, New York Times bestselling author, all these big internationally recognized, but health is always something that he is very open about. Like you're always seeing him on Snapchat working out. You're always seeing him juicing. Like he's got the weirdest periscopes sometimes, but it's like him making a juice or, but what's interesting about it is that you see how important health is to the overall grand scheme of things. And one of the things that came to my mind is we were talking about this work-life balance. And I typically think of the health thing goes into the life balance and we separate it from the work. And he was basically talking about the reason that is essentially is because people go all in and become obsessed about one thing in their life, and it creates all this unbalance in the other thing. So we go all in on work. Oh man, I got to get to work. Oh man, I got to make money. Oh man, I got to do this. And that obsession creates imbalance in the other things that we have going on in our life, like health, like family, like spirituality, whatever it might be. And his strategy was, I'm obsessed about everything in my life. And that obsession about all these facets in my life creates the balance. And so I think, like what you're saying, to your point, is there's these small things that you can do, but first you have to make this overarching decision. And I would submit it even goes one step deeper, which is, it's like, dude, you got to figure out what you want in life.
Absolutely. I always say you can't get to your destination if you don't know what your destination is, right? It's like you don't get into your car in the morning and just decide to get in and drive somewhere and hope you end up somewhere good. Like you're like, no, I'm going to this destination and this is the route that I'm going to take to get there.
It reminds me of it reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire Cat, right? She arrives at this crossroads and I don't even know if I'm saying that properly, the Cheshire Cat or whatever appears and she's like, which road do I take? And he says, well, where do you want to go? And she's like, I don't know. And he says, well, I guess it doesn't matter which road you take then. Right? Exactly. And that's kind of what you're saying. It's like you have to know at some point, like, do I want to be the 43-year-old that has the oxygen tank that can't play with my kids anymore? Or do I want to be active with them and have fun and enjoy life?
Exactly. And something so important with that is that you have to make the decision that, yes, I'm going for it. And yes, I'm going to succeed. Because sometimes we say, yeah, I'm going for it, but hopefully I succeed, right? Yeah. No, I'm making the decision. I'm going to succeed. And now the only question that's left is how quickly it's going to happen, right? So am I going to hire a health and wellness coach? Am I going to sign up for the gym? Am I going to sign up for like a healthy meal delivery service? Like what support am I going to get in place in order to get there? And truly, just like everything else with business, with family, like you can do it alone, but it's really freaking hard. So if you've already made that decision, why not also make the decision to get as much as support as you can possibly get in order to expedite that timeline and get there quicker, especially because it's going to have a ripple effect in literally every part of your life.
Right. How important is where am I going? There's a lot of people out there that I think look at the Dwayne the Rock Johnsons of the world and the Shalene Johnson. How many more Johnsons can we come up with? The Shalene Johnsons of the world. The Insanity dude, the P90X dude. I don't know their names, but we look at them and we go, oh yeah, that's me. I mean, even for myself, I've gone through periods of like, dude, like I'm striving to look like Justin Timberlake, but that's not even my body type. Like I always joke, I'm the Danny DeVito body type. I'm not the, the Justin, like I'm never going to have that slender, thin boned kind of like, but so how well is knowing yourself primarily? And the follow up to that is, how do we identify what's actually going to work for us? Do you know what I mean? Because we're just out there aimlessly, chickens with our heads cut off, trying oh yeah, man, I just bought Insanity, and oh man, I just bought P90X, and I'm now doing Atkins, and you see people like going all over the place, have no clue what works for them, and then they get discouraged. So how do we figure this out? How do we know what's going to work best for us? Did I freeze?
No, now you're back. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so good thing it's not live. Okay, so let me start that again. Hey, Chad, who edits hey, Chad, we're going to cut before I ask that question and bring it back in seamlessly. So, it makes me think about, okay, well, how important is it to first know yourself? I feel like we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off because somebody undoubtedly is listening to this right now. They're probably sitting in their store. They're on their lunch break. They're listening to this and going, yeah, man, you know what? This is the kick in the butt I needed. I got to do something. I know it's going to impact me. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to stop by that as seen on TV store in the mall on their way home. And they're going to pick up like they're just going to like clear off a shelf of like workout DVDs. And then they're going to put it in, realize it's so freaking hard, and they're going to give up, and they're right back to where they started again. So how do we discover, like, what's the step to discovering, okay, what's right for me? How can I make this work for me?
Yeah, great question. So, I like to compare this to a train that's like going 80 miles in one direction. And if you try to make that same train just quickly stop and turn around and go 80 miles in the other direction, it's probably going to break. So we have to be realistic with how quickly these transformations are going to happen. And, I've had this happen with clients all the time who, have a little bit more weight to lose. Maybe it's like 30, 40, 50 pounds. And we've been working together a month and they're like, Yulia, I haven't lost 30 pounds yet. Is this for me? And so when we make our goals so huge, we sometimes forget those little steps in between. So when that Mount Everest, seems so far away, you feel like, well, I'm never going to get there. But step by step by step, you're going to. So when you're setting these goals for yourself, maybe this month, your only goal is to start working out 3 times a week. And that is an accomplishment in and of itself. The next month, maybe your pants will fit a little bit looser. The next month, maybe you'll have so much energy, you'll be waking up every morning ready to go, ready to crush your 5 a.m. workouts now.
Sure.
So one step at a time and really small attainable goals. And, the thing with like business and health and wellness is that with business, we do tend to set these small attainable goals, but with health, we just make it seem like it's so far away, and we forget that it's taken 10 or 20 or 30 years to get to where we are right now. So it's not going to take 20 or 30 years to fix that, but it is going to take some time, and it is going to be a journey. And if you want a visual, inspiration, the best inspiration is yourself. If there was a picture of you from a party or, wherever where you looked really good and most importantly, you felt really good, use that as your inspiration rather than, these photoshopped or insane standards of bodies that we have out there. And also keep in mind those people like, Shanti, Shalene Johnson, The Rock, it's their job to look good. They have a whole team of people who are probably cooking for them and, personal trainers and everything like that because it's their job to look this way.
Yeah.
And so baby steps will get you to the end.
And it's funny what you say here because that's where my mind was moving. It is their job to look this way. So stop comparing who you are to what they are. I mean, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We hear people often say, "Man, if I got cast in that movie and I got paid $20 million, I'd look awesome too." But we don't realize these cats are working out 7 hours a day, 6-7 hours a day, and eating twigs and berries for like 6 months to get to where they are. And I don't think even necessarily we're talking about getting to look that way. And this isn't even, in my opinion, not even a weight loss conversation. It's how can you live the best version of yourself as you possibly can live, because that impacts your business. I don't care what you are. You could be the dealer principal, the general manager, general sales manager, energy manager. I don't need to name all the roles and responsibilities at the dealership level. The salesperson, by taking care of yourself, you are taking care of your business because, in my opinion, you are the business.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And if there's no you, there is no business.
And there's no money. That money you've been chasing so hard doesn't exist if you don't exist.
Exactly.
And so for me, I'll tell you from my own experience, one of the biggest paradigm shifts for me was just that. The fact that my health and wellness is as much a factor in my success as is showing up and doing sales calls, as is my inbound marketing efforts, as is my personal branding, this show, because it all stems from me. And if I'm not living the best version of myself as possible, all other areas of my life fail. I'm the nucleus to my world.
Exactly. And you have to get that nucleus, as you say, in control. Like, if we can't master our own bodies, how can we master anything else in life? Truly. If we can't master our own self, and it's crazy to me, and I can talk about this for hours. It's a separate show, I think.
Yeah.
But we think that our body is this like mysterious thing, and like we have no idea how to train it. But truly, like, again, we keep saying try something and you'll be able to tell if it works because you're going to feel better. You're going to be more energized, or you're going to say, you know what? I really don't like this. And this is something really important that I want to make sure I mention, is that whatever you do, you have to find the fun way to do it for you. So if all of your friends are doing CrossFit and are getting amazing results with CrossFit, and you go to one class and you hate it, but you love Zumba, guess what? If you love Zumba, you're going to go 5 times a week and you're going to get those results, because like with anything, consistency over time is the secret sauce.
Right.
But if you go to a CrossFit class like once and you hate it and you're never going to go back, and you think in your mind, well, either CrossFit or bust, then you're never going to get there, right? So whatever it is, find something that's fun, whatever exercise, whatever movement is exciting for you. I remember a period in my life where I was trying to lose over 30 pounds. The thing that was most effective for me was not the classes at the gym that I tried to take and failed, but it was seriously waking up while my coffee was brewing. I would blast music for 10 minutes and just dance in my kitchen. And somehow that worked really well for me. And I truly think it's because I enjoyed it and I did it every single day.
Yeah. I think sometimes we forget that our bodies were built to move to begin with. Like, our bodies weren't built to like just sit there and lay in bed and be stagnant. And so any movement our body is going to just desire naturally. And it's that we've trained ourselves over a period of time to become stagnant and not move and not think properly or learn fear or whatever it might be. And that's what puts us into this like trance. We're just walking around like a bunch of zombies.
Exactly. It's like where energy goes, energy flows, right? If it's not going, it's not flowing anywhere. Like the more you move, the more energy you're going to produce, and the more you're going to be able to get done in your life. You're going to be more productive. You're going to be ready to tackle the day. You're going to deal with stress better, right? We all have stress, and stress can totally destroy us. And so when you exercise, it is the best stress relief ever.
Yeah.
And you're able to keep going.
I think of like some guys in our industry that inspire me. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to, risk embarrassing anybody or whatever. But I mean, I've got colleagues who, I'm not kidding you, took up ballroom dancing with their spouse, and like butter in a microwave, man. They just started dripping off of them. Like they just became toothpicks over. I'll just wait. I noticed when the smile, Chad can edit this. They just became like toothpicks over a short period of time. There's others who just go walking. I remember when I lost my first 30 pounds, I walked 4 days a week. I went to like this hockey arena in town where all the old people went to work, and there was a big like clock up on the thing, and I knew that if I did 14 laps in 30 minutes or something like that, it was a 2-mile walk. And so, I built myself up to this, but I love it because that was at a time in my life where I was coming out of comparing myself to everybody's situation and transitioning into this time of my life, which kind of goes along with what we're talking about, where it was like, you know what, Cirillo, this is your journey. Embrace your journey. If your journey looks like you walking with the old people every day, don't be embarrassed about it. Don't whatever. Get out and do it. And what I realized, making that commitment like we talked about earlier, like, hey, man, I'm going all in on this because I want to live a better life. I want to feel more fulfilled. It was cutting out all the junk food, cutting out the irresponsible eating, like the overeating, and walking for 30 minutes, 4 or 5 days a week. I lost 30 pounds in 3 months. And I know that's not going to happen for everybody, but what it helped me realize is that my body wants me to be the best version of myself. Like my body doesn't want to be obese or over, like my body wants me to be trim. And whatever my definition of trim is, my body wants to feel good. And what I immediately realized, back to what you said just a minute ago about, the strength at being able to withstand stress and all these sorts of things, it reminds me of a suspension bridge, right? Like a suspension bridge needs the support. It needs the strength of the beams and the wires and all these sorts of things to be able to handle the stress which is put upon it. And we're kind of the same way. Like we need to put mechanisms in place and things in place to strengthen ourselves so that we can handle the stress of the day-to-day life, whether it's our career, how do we make more money, how do we sell more cars, whatever it might be. It really is that central piece to achieving our definition of success.
Absolutely. And something that I really treasure, so I'm obsessed with Tony Robbins. And one thing that he's huge on is our state. So the state that we are in is going to completely affect, how quickly we can make decisions, the quality of the decisions, the actions that we take. And, taking the time to take care of your body, your nutrition, eating like you love yourself, moving like you love yourself, right? You are not only dealing with stress better, but you are putting yourself out there, and the course of your life completely changes. And working out, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm done with a workout or when I'm eating a good meal, I leave feeling like, hell yeah, I'm about to crush the world. Like I can do anything, So being in that state all the time, it's no surprise that you see people who get addicted to exercise, who get addicted to eating clean because it feels so good.
So big takeaways for me here. You got to decide. Like, stop dicking around, man. You got to decide, what do you want to achieve in your life? You need to realize that you have control. That's another big takeaway for me. You are the one in control. And when you sit there stagnant, when you sit there with your excuses, when you sit there whining and moaning about how life could be better, you're actually allowing yourself to be acted upon instead of being the actor. You talked about taking some small steps, right? Like do anything that's going to be a positive change for you, whether it's, like you said, drinking water. If you're a chronic like Pepsi drinker, addicted to Pepsi, which I know people who are addicted to Pepsi, get some water in there. Start nourishing your mind, your body, your spirit, and you're going to see an impact on your career. Whether you're a car sales professional, a real estate agent, a doctor, dentist, lawyer, freaking candlestick maker, I don't care whatever the rhyme is. It's all central to what you decide to have happen in your life.
Absolutely. And I want to say to all those Pepsi drinkers out there, have your Pepsi, but have a liter of water first, and then decide if that's what you really want to have.
As I take my bottle of Pepsi and put it down. No, I'm just kidding. Just water here, just water.
And I want to say one more thing, too, because this is the dealer's playbook, and we talk about cars all the time. Choose the fuel that you want to drive your vehicle with, right?
Man,
the better the fuel.
She going deep now. Choose the. I'm writing this down like I'm at a Tony Robbins seminar. Choose the fuel, man.
Choose the fuel. Seriously, upgrade that shit. I don't know.
There's children listening. No, I'm kidding.
But seriously, do you want to fuel yourself with crap, or do you want Supreme, right? It's going to affect the performance of your car, of your body, of your life.
I love this. So let me ask you this. Are you open to people sending you emails and asking you questions and all these sorts of things?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so for those listening, how can they get in touch with you?
So you can find me at my website, yulirocks.com.
How'd you come up with that?
Well, actually, can I share it with you, though?
Yeah,
I was shopping for a domain, and Squarespace suggested it to me. I was like, oh, well, thank you. I'll take that.
So I'm flattered. You're blushing as you bought a domain.
Seriously, great salesmanship, Squarespace. And then if you want to email me, all my contact info is there. So all my stuff, yulirocks.com.
Love it. Yuli, thanks so much. I'm just going to call you Yuli now. Thanks so much for taking the time. Super inspiring. I love talking about things that drive us forward to achieve that level of success. And I'm all about, dude, I'm passionate. You know me. I'm passionate about people rising up above the clutter, doing what really matters in life, taking hold, taking control, and dominating. So I love this conversation. Like I said, it's something we've never talked. Undoubtedly there's going to be some people listening being like, what is this, Regis and Kelly? And all of a sudden we're talking about, we got the lifestyle but you know what? There are people listening right now who are going, yeah, you know what? That was the kick in the butt I need to live the best life I possibly can. That's what the Dealer Playbook's all about, man. It's about rising above the clutter and dominating. And so I love this. Thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.